I work seriously with polymer clay since the beginning of 2019, but I always work with my own hands, and that always gave me a lot of pleasure. Hi everyone, I'm Rita. I'm the maker and designer behind the jewelry brand Piino. I'm from Portugal, and I make polymer clay earrings and more recently bracelets that are very colorful and very modern. Since I was a child, I was doing all the gifts by myself with my own hands, and my family is also very handy, and I think that had a lot of influence on me. So the name Piino means handstand. It comes from this inspiration, my childhood, spending all summers at the beach and making handstands in the sand. And that was really annoying all the time when I was there, telling my parents, look at me, look what I'm doing, I am so brave. And now I'm basically doing the same about this project, so that's a nice metaphor. This is my mini workshop where I make tests and finish the pieces. This is a Dremel stylo with different tips. For instance, this one I used to make these holes here, as you can see, where I insert the studs. This one I used to sand the pieces, and this one, this cotton wheel, I use for polishing. That's the very last step. And yeah, I have pretty much a little bit of everything here, including a mess, because when I sand there's a lot of dust and I want to stay healthy, so. On the other side of the room, my favorite spot in this room, because of this beautiful window, I have my clay machine where I condition the clay, and I have like the basic supplies, the basic tools, cleaning things like super important blades, Fimo cutters, this roll that I like very much, yeah. And I also have here a balance that it's very important for measuring the different colors to make new colors. So I have here my kind of recipe book where I already made probably more than 100 colors, and at the end of the day I just picked 10 for my collection, but in the future there will come new ones. One of the things that I really care about my pieces are quality, clean look, timeless designs, and also that they last a lifetime. This is very important to me. These are my goals, and so I had to find a technique to attach the silver studs to the polymer clay piece without using glue, because glue, it's a good solution, but it's not a lifetime solution. When I started working, I had my daughter, small daughter, always around me, and most of the good glues are actually very toxic, so I was definitely not taking that risk. Basically, I drill a hole with a Dremel in the polymer clay, and then I insert the studs. I cover it with liquid polymer clay, I use Fimo, and then it goes again in the oven, so the stud, it's actually inside the piece. It's not just glue, it's not just on the surface. You really have to follow your instincts, you really have to test a lot. You need to find your own style, your own way, your own story. If you end up comparing yourself to others, spending hours in Pinterest, spending hours on Instagram, trying to do what others are doing, this is just not going to lead to an original brand. It's going to lead to something similar to another brand. And that's not going to stand out in the crowd. Trust yourself, look at your own story, find your own inspiration, and sometimes it's good to be really far from the computer and connect with the things that really matter, so you can really reflect about what matters in your life.